Phil Ivey's on my left. Like, Phil Ivey. This will be a bloody one. Holy smokes, bro. What are you doing, bro? Well, YOLO, let's go. I'm ready to rumble.
We ready. Who ready? We ready. Who ready? Who? We ready. Who? Who ready? Who? We ready. Who ready? We ready. Been ready. I waited. My turn. On God. Hell steady. I keep dropping back to back. I keep going if you let me.
Good morning, folks. Fresh out of the shower. I actually slept well, which is very important because this is, without a doubt, the most grueling event for so many reasons. Number one, you're playing deep stack, hard games, 9 different games against the best players in the world for 12 hours a day, every day, boom, 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 constantly in it. Obviously the main event is the main event, and that's special. There's no other event like this. And it is grueling, as I said. You really feel like, when it's over, you need a couple weeks off, if you will. A couple things on that. You guys probably noticed on Poker Go, there was a table with myself and Phil Ivey, right? And we played on the feature table for a while. And then they moved us to the other table. And some of you might be like, hey, I want to watch you guys. I'm like, okay, I understand. But, like, it's not fair to us. It really isn't. Because, first of all, playing on the feature is much hotter, much less comfortable. The lights are really, really bright. In addition to that, everyone gets access to see how you're playing and not the other table. And so, Phil hates it too, right? So, you have to do a fair rotation. Obviously, I understand they want, names on their features, but they're all names left, But yeah, if you're wondering why they switched, it's because we need a break too. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I feel like I slept well. Today there are 12 left, I think, and we're playing down to 5. Sounds like an easy peasy, no big deal, easy fast day, right? Nope. No, it's going to take a while. Even though we're getting down from 12 to 5, you're looking at a full day to get from 12 to 5. And then, of course, tomorrow's day 5, the final 5. We will play it out. I just found out that Jeremy bluffed me on that. I found out this morning in a triple drop pot. Okay. And I thought about it all night, of course, because that's what I do.
16 players remain. We're just 2 away from the money. Min cashed 102,000. Blesnik, as we saw, one of the recent bust outs.
You and Ivy.
So Tuck, we go to Sherwood Golf Club. Play the Gretzkys in golf. Wayne, not surprisingly, is a stick. Absolute money. Janet's getting up and down from everywhere. We're getting crushed on the turn. We double it.
Wait, you and who?
Hellmuth.
You and Hellmuth versus the Gretzkys.
Versus the Gretzkys.
I love it.
We double it. Hellmuth, he hits driver sometimes on like 150-yard par 3s. This big banana fade. Whoosh. He sometimes putts with his driver. I mean, he's just as big of a shit show on the golf course, if not bigger than he is in poker.
Nobody's surprised by that, by the way.
It's spectacular. He's been my partner a lot. I just enjoy it, So we double it. Somehow we end up breaking even. We get hot. Normally Hellmuth saves me in these matches. I don't know. He has a way of coming up big, just like he does in poker. He does the same thing on the golf course. He's clutch. And he's got a lot of heart, and he wants it more than others.
He's not pretty. You have no idea how he gets it done, but somehow every time it's always scoreboard.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we get even. So where do we go? Where do we go from Sherwood? What would you do next if you're with the Gretzkys?
I guess you go see a Kings game?
Well, you'd go ice skating with them or something like that.
I'd love to. Are you kidding me?
But we go back to the house for a little poker with their neighbors.
Okay.
A little 5-10 game.
Janet play?
Janet played. Wayne did not.
Wow, okay.
But I will tell you what Wayne did.
Yeah.
He got me a water.
Wow.
He got you a water?
The great one got me a water.
Hey, bud.
Just wanted to needle you that the great one got me a water. That's basically why I told the story.
Yeah, I have had the pleasure of meeting Wayne Gretzky a couple of times. My dream of playing with him in pickup, and that's never happened.
How thirsty were you when you met Wayne?
Oh, very.
So anyway, a pretty big hand here.
Yeah, no, for sure. Speaking, by the way, of hockey and the great one, how about Connor McDavid?
Where is
despite
that
losing last night.
Directly in the rectum right now, Jeremy.
So Auspice raising.
What did you call it? You had a lot of pairs, so you must have had 4s and 5s.
Look at this.
2 7s. crazy. 4s and 5s. A deuce. 4, 5.
Osmus with another sophisticated
Cards.
bluff.
What cards would you bluff with?
I was going to say, who
Darn
finds
it.
a bluff here?
Strong.
No. You'd have had to catch like, no. All right. Good hand.
Very,
Wow.
very unconventional bluff.
I mean, who finds a bluff there? The pot is
I
435.
had a monster too.
Its pot is 365.
Yep.
And he goes, let's take it upstairs.
He drew 2. Daniel value bet his queen.
Yeah.
Osmus said, right back at you, pal.
And it was an interesting spot where I had deuce, 3, 6, 7 in the big. And the key factor is he drew 2 going into last draw. Why would anyone draw 2 going into last draw when you're drawing 1? The main reason they do that is because they have information. And I started to talk this through while I was, discussing it, which to me led me to believe he had a lot of pairs, right? So when you have a lot of pairs, you might think, okay, it's harder for me to make a hand, blah, blah, blah. Which is also in part why I bet with the queen, because it's a very thin value bet with a queen, even against a 2-card draw. Now when he raises me, I'm thinking, what are the pairs that he was holding? If I don't have any 4s and 5s, so there's a lot of 4s and 5s. Now with 4s and 5s, he doesn't need to bluff those that much, frankly. 4s and 5s can just win. Like if I have 6s, 7s, 8s, I just, I bet those every time, and he can call with 4s. So he doesn't need to bluff those. I don't know what he had, but I'll find out exactly which pair. If it's 8s, it makes more sense. They would bluff there. But, listen, sometimes you're going to get it wrong, and that's okay. He made a, good for him. He made a good play. I guess in retrospect, I could have thought deeply about maybe that was his plan the whole time because he had all the pairs. Was he just going to bet river no matter what or raise river no matter what? Whatever, I made some good laydowns, made some good calls, and they're all really good players. Everybody's in the mix doing their thing. Everyone's capable. I think today, sort of one thing I'm going to be thinking about is being a little more of an animal in the big bet. Not an animal like stupid spewy, but like making sure I'm taking the spots that are mine. And not worrying, because like that's the thing. Like you just play with guys that are big bet. They don't play mixed limit. You tend to now say, okay, well, I don't want to go broken one hand with them. But at this point, we're playing to win, and that's what we're going to do. I do this again. All right, as I walk to the room, of course, I don't stop thinking about hands and stuff. And this Jeremy one, I think a lot of it don't make no damn sense because, hold on, my laundry's in here. What doesn't make no damn sense is he drew 2. There's no 8s that he paired. I had a 7. So unless he paired specifically the 7, I mean, it looks like the 4s and 5s left. If he paired 4s or 5s and bluffed those, that's not a good play, not a good candidate. And I'll tell you why, because against a 2-card draw, I'm just not bluffing deuces and 3s. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm not bluffing deuces and 3s. So my bluffs are going to be like pairs that you beat. Even with 4s, you can actually call the end with 4s or 5s if you have a lot of the pairs and didn't see the 7s and 8s and stuff. But the key thing I was just thinking about is when he draws 2 again, I'd be really surprised if he drew 2 to a 3-card 8 again, against the 1-card draw. If he did, the hell, Jeremy. Either way, I have to find out what he had because I think it's maybe a goofy one. Maybe Jeremy doing some dog shit goofy stuff. Wouldn't be the first time. I just found out what Jeremy had. Holy smokes, bro. What are you doing, bro? I can't wait. Oh my God. That is not a thing, what he just did. So apparently he caught Queen 10. So my Queen 7 would have won against Queen 10. That's not a hand you need to bluff, a Queen 10, without any pairs. It's so ridiculous, because if I'm value betting, 99% of the time, I'm value betting a jack or better. 1% of the time, maybe 5, maybe 3, I'm betting a queen for value, right? It's just always going to be jack or better. So all the bluffs you beat, bro, with Queen 10, it's just, you just win. You can just call and win. But he decided, I don't know what he was doing. Just bluffed. YOLO. Okay. Well, YOLO. Let's go. I'm ready to rumble. Let's play straight triple draw, buddy. What the fuck was that? Okay, I just talked to Jeremy. So it's funny. He just tweeted this. Check out the tweet. Jeremy Osmond tweeted, watching some of these PPC hands from yesterday and the graphics are clearly wrong on a few hands. I'm not quite as bad as Mix as they're making me out to be. Because, bro, I was about to grill you. But Jeremy said the graphics are wrong. he had a 7. He made a 7. He was not bluffing. So everybody in the comments who says Jeremy bluffed you, he didn't bluff me. Jeremy, okay, he wasn't dog shit this hand. He had a good hand. He had a 7. So that's nice to know that, because it happens sometimes with the draws and stuff. Cards get all mixed up and it's very difficult to do. So, because that didn't make no damn sense that he had a queen 10. So he said he made a 7. Oh my God. It also showed him like at one point folding 10s and stud, which didn't happen. And he had 2 10s of hearts. Yeah. And it's funny. Yeah. Okay. So it happens. You know, it's very difficult to record these mixings. But oh my God, that makes me feel a lot better that I certainly didn't get bluffed there. And I actually made a good bet fold. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I like to needle Jeremy. We're buddies. I love that guy. Who doesn't? Freaking Tom Brady of poker. All right, what's for breakfast today? We're going to go with one of these. I got these in the freezer. Classics. These are actually decent. They're not that bad. The bread gets a little weird, but got 24 grams of protein. What do we got in there? I don't know. It's defrosting in there. I'll throw a little catsup on there and get the coffee brewing. Start the day. Got all kinds of snacks as we do. Lifestyles of the rich and famous, right? Paper towel, that's hot. What do we got here? Let's take a look. Yeah, this is how we eat, buddy. We're in degen mode. We just do what we got to do. That actually looks pretty good. Yeah, we're going to throw a little ketchup on there. But yeah, lifestyles of the rich and famous. What you do during a World Series of Poker. Whatever it takes. All right, my good buddy Phil Ivey just texted me and informed me that I didn't know this, but it is, I thought it was a 1 p.m. restart. I'm ready to go. It's 2. So the question is, what do? We got an extra bit of time to kill. We got options. Here's the options. You want to hear the options? Number 1, we could watch back some of the hands on Poker Go. Try to see if we can pick something up, right? We're going to play a lot of poker, so that's, you know, engaging and whatever. 2, we could play some Beat Saber, get some blood flowing, you know, get a little exercise, you know. Or 3, could lay on this couch, scroll the internet, and read dumb shit on Twitter. Well, what would you do if you were? What do you think is the best approach for me to do well today? I think Beat Saber. I'm going to go Beat Saber because the scrolling the internet, there are so many crazy, stupid things said on. I've done such a good job with Twitter X of like not replying anymore. Like there's so many times I wrote out 2-3 tweets today and deleted them because I'm just like, I don't want to get involved with these people because some of these people have like not a lot going on. So like you put out one thing, it snowballs and they spend the next 12 hours tweeting at you and this and that and this and that and that and this, like for, you know, forever. Then I'm like, bro, I'm in and out. So I realized, like, you know what? Once you get into it, you stuck in this nastiness in the cesspool. So I just leave it alone. As you get older, you realize, who gives a shit? Okay, you can think what you think. Good for you. Bravo. I don't need to prove to everybody that you're wrong because it's a waste of energy. It's just not. Who cares? Right? I mean, what are we even doing here? It's about time to rock. We did all 3, yo. Played some Beat Saber, but I'm not playing the things that she needs to win. I'm playing hard level. I'm crushing the hard. I'm going to let her catch up to the other ones before I go backwards. But I'm playing the hard. What else did I do? I did, what was the 3 things I said I'd do? I looked over some hands here and there. And then I scrolled, you know, but you know what I look for? I look for dog videos, bro. Animal videos. Crazy nature videos. Probably my favorite thing to look at on, whether it's not Instagram, but usually on Twitter. Just like the nature's amazing stuff. It's so cool, man. Check out this dog jump right here. This dog is flying, bro. This dog be flying. Pretty impressive. That's what we can be doing today. Fly like that doggy. They're involved in the big pot here. I'm not going to stay and watch. I'll find out what happened. 1.33 to end the first level. We lost 1 player, the grinder. and I started off hot. I was up to 2 million after like 10 minutes. Won a couple stud pots, and then I lost a couple small like stud 8 pots here and there. But I'm getting involved. Like in the stud games, I'm gonna get involved. Here's the thing: it's like you always think of the games. Oh, I want to play this, but there's so many great players. It's like, yeah, I want to play the stud games, but then you know what the problem is? Phil Ivey's on my left. Like Phil Ivey, like the worst possible option, you know, for the games that I want to exploit the other players. But it's okay. We'll stay steady. I'm not worried about the average or nothing. Just focused on what we got to do so far. Oh, what I was going to say was this is a big jump. 61-20, 81-60. Blood will happen. This will be a bloody one. That's a huge jump at this stage. You're going to see a lot of action. I think we're going to no limit hold'em. It'll be 40K big blind. So chips are going to get in. All right, we're going to break. A little hot sucker steam in that level wasn't good to us at all. Didn't really win any pots, man. Just, very frustrating. I'm playing my game, as you can see if you're watching it. You know, I'm not getting any hands. A lot of badoogies. I got 420,000 in this level. So we got work to do, but we're not dead, you know? We're playing stud 8 for a couple more hands, which is the ideal game on a short stack. So what does that represent? That represents 2 big bets, okay? So we're finally in, you know, danger territory. But I feel the rush coming. I'm so due to have a heater right now, and this is the level. This is my level, 1 in 200. Okay, I got a pair of 4s.
I got an 8.
Brewer, by the way, a favorite.
Jack doors.
He's got 8s and an 87 draw. Negreanu with 4s and no low draw yet. No help on 6.
Low draw.
Now Negreanu's got a low draw.
Yeah, let me. That's it? Just a pair of 8s?
Just a pair of 8s. That's
Daniel
all you
has
got to
more
beat.
than half the deck for half.
So, you sweating with me? It's 3 across. That's great, right? That's a winner. It could be a scoop.
It could be a 6, 7.
So when he says 3 across, what does he mean? What is he looking at?
He's looking at
280.
a 6, 7, or an 8, which
He's
means
looking at, but what's he actually literally looking at?
he's looking at the pips of the cards to see. It's more of like a baccarat thing, where he's actually like squeezing the card.
I mean,
He knows it's
I
a
know.
6, 7, or 8. So if it's a 6 or an 8, he makes a low. If it's a 7, he makes 2 pair.
Yeah.
But again, this goes to show you why tournament poker is so great and how anyone can win. Daniel played this hand, in my opinion, poorly, and he scooped the whole pot. Chris should have never seen 4th Street. He should have never seen it. What should have happened was Daniel should have 2-bet it, Ivey could have 3-bet it, got head up, and Chris would have folded.
7,
But instead
8.
he had to make the best hand.
Well, he made the best hand, and he's up to almost
Yep.
$1 million. He's up to 940,000.
No, understood, yeah.
New game.
And again, we talked about it earlier. Daniel is so good now. It's going to be very hard for him to lose this 940,000 chips. He will fight and fight and fight.
By the way, we gave you incorrect information earlier on. We said that
yeah.
when we get 8-handed, we'll have 2 4-handed tables. We'll combine at 7. When in actuality, we're going to combine at 8. It is a 7-handed tournament, so the official final table is the final 7. But
Heater level.
we will
1 in
combine at
200.
8.
Who knew? That was my level. I didn't know it was going to be this level.
And again,
well, I kind of did.
what's the next game
Now
we're
is
playing?
where we go on the massive heater, Ivy style. Just
Because
have
this
all
is-
the chips.
2
Oh,
to
now-
7, low ball, triple draw.
Okay,
Like
so
it used
this
to be back in the
is
day,
this is
boxing.
also very good right now for Daniel Negreanu.
Right,
This is a good
every
game.
chip in front of Phil.
Why?
Why?
Except
Because
10K that you keep sending me.
there's no ante, so he doesn't have to
Going
put
broke.
any money in the pot when he's not in the hand.
All right.
But more importantly, it's very easy. He's going to either play a good hand pre-flop, or he's going to be able to fold. It's very easy to play with a short stack.
Cost him 150 every 4 hands, though.
Yeah, but odds are 1 in every 4 hands he's going to have a playing hand, and
Well,
here's
how
one
about
of
this
them.
one? Well, this is an interesting hand. So he's got 3 to a low, 2 7s, but he's blocking his opponents
See,
from having really strong
But here's
hands,
the
right?
thing, if I'm Daniel here, I would 4-bet it, and because a guy like Brewer can fold. But the way Daniel's been playing, he might just call. I would 4-bet this. Daniel, 4-bet. If Daniel 4-bets, Brewer folds, and then he gets head up against Brewer in position with a better hand. Again, I don't like it by Daniel. If he 4-bets, Brewer is out of the hand. Remember, people in draw, if you have deuce 4-7, you're ahead of deuce 3-6, but it's the equities are still close.
Brewer's got a really tough hand here. I mean,
Brewer, here's
he's
the
drawing
thing.
to an 87.
But you know what? Brewer's raise,
Heater
though, is
time.
fine. Because, again, Daniel doesn't have
chicken
chips.
heater.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
wow. Well,
Daniel
how
just
about-
made a wheel.
How about keep Brewer in and make the wheel?
Yeah.
I think that's the better way.
So let's see. So, okay, watch this.
Look at this. This is amazing. So Negreanu went 400,000 chips, doubles up in stud 8, and then he said, "This is my level." Boom. He just made the wheel. He
Now-
made number 1.
What's going to happen here, Tuck, most likely is Daniel's going to raise, and Brewer is actually going to fold his hand. Brewer should fold just because he's drawing so poor. Okay?
Would you ever call the Negreanu just to keep Brewer in?
No, because here's the thing. Becker has 0% fold equity, and if, let's say Brewer made a good draw, 1-card draw, he has to call anyway. So you're making more money by raising.
By the way, Negreanu's going to go from like 400,000
This is
to
great.
what could end up being like 2 million when it all says.
This is very, very good. Now,
Let's see what Becker makes.
so Becker catches a jack.
240 left. Thank you.
Okay,
Becker catches
so,
an 8 or 7. He is.
well, the good news for Becker is he can't get hurt here because Daniel only has a bet left. He literally only has like 1 bet behind. All right, so Becker.
Pat.
Now, if the really interesting thing here is, and the difference, okay, so Becker catches a king. He's going to check fold. But what makes this game interesting is what does Becker do if he catches like a 9 or a 10? Because if anyone can get away from a 9 or a 10, it's Johannes Becker.
Yeah, you said this is Johannes Becker's best game.
He is phenomenal in anything that draws cards. I can't say the same about anything that's a flop. Any of the flop games.
Well, Becker.
And Becker's not going to pay this off. There's no way. Yeah, Daniel's playing way
No.
too tight.
Negreanu, by the way, is now up to 1.9 million.
And again,
Started with a
Wow,
monster.
what a
Sevens
turnaround.
and fours and a
and
deuce.
again, Daniel
Almost
literally. What a
Number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was trying to figure out a way to keep you in somehow, but
You into the number 1.
yeah.
Pretty good.
Hello, Heater. Hello, Heater. Nice to see you. Huh? I'm the worst winner of all time, Phil. And you love it. He loves it. I'm too giddy. From the outhouse to the penthouse. Now I'm big pimping.
Face.
okay. So Brewer opens here. This is again. These are very interesting hands here.
I mean, Brewer's got a 7-6-5 deuce draw. I mean, that's a monster.
And again, we talked about it earlier. Chris, great at no limit.
I'll play with the boys. Now I got
Hasn't
all this
played a lot
money.
of draw.
Sure, whatever. Let's do it. Oh, wow. Coming in hot.
So Chris,
Becker's 3-betting this?
it's a good 3
Yep.
bet. He's in position. He's drawing
2
1.
for me.
Chris should
Brewer
maybe
4-bet.
Gonna win another
Yeah.
one.
Got 1.3 million in there.
Back to back.
This
Boom.
game is getting
I'll check for now.
huge.
Everyone's so far
Checking
played
for
their
now.
hand correctly. Everything is standard. The
8-6-5-4 draw?
Yeah,
We like that.
four-handed, the hand's too strong. Daniel
Okay.
improves.
Brewer has
Okay.
paired his 7s.
Now-
Becker has made a 9.
Now watch
Negreanu
this.
still drawing to a wheel, by the way. Again, Negreanu could catch a 7
Now,
or an 8 and win this.
now, Tuck, this is what makes draw so interesting. Becker is going to stay pat here with his 9-8. Watch this. This is a very interesting spot. I
Against two
expected-
players?
Yes, I still expect
okay, we got
he
this.
should pat here, as he does.
Wow.
Now it's a
just
very
kept raising
interesting
my interest.
hand. The
Watch.
reason you pat this
Like,
9-8
Check, buddy.
is because if you're
There
drawing
we
an
go.
8-6,
That's up.
he knows they have
Uh-huh.
deuces in their
Come on
hand.
now.
It's very hard for them to
Come on now.
improve. You
Right.
c-
So they are blocking each other from making a big hand.
So even though 9-8 is not a strong hand against 2 opponents, it makes it harder for Becker's opponents to actually make their hand.
And I guess Becker realizes that he's not
Yeah.
going to improve because his deuces are gone.
Daniel started with 2 deuces. He just paired his deuce. There's no more deuces left in the deck.
Well, that's good news for Negreanu because he doesn't want any more. He would
Come
like
on,
a
baby.
7.
Come on, baby.
Or an
Daddy
8.
need a new pair of shoes. This is the pot. This is the
Oh, he
Oh
makes
my
the 8.
God.
He makes the
Daniel
8
makes an 8
perfect.
And you know
Let's
what?
see. Come on now.
Here's
Let's
what's
see
going to
who we're
happen,
gonna
Tuck.
catch.
Daniel is supposed to lead. He's supposed to lead here. This is
This
so
pot's
interesting.
2.2 million.
Daniel, bet.
2 for y'all.
There he is. He
Keep some
bets. I love it.
This is insane. Negreanu is going to go from 400,000 to 3.4 or 3.6 million in 3 hands.
And you know what?
Sick.
Johannes Becker, you can't fault him for what he did here. He played his hand perfect. The question is, will he pay off right now?
I mean,
There's
does
so much in
Negreanu
the pot.
have bluffs in a spot?
I'm telling you from experience, Negreanu has 0 bluffs. Okay? 0. 0 bluffs in this spot. When he leads into 2 opponents, he has to worry about Chris. He has to worry about Becker. He has no bluffs here. Becker knows he beats no value hands, but there's also, Tuck, he's getting 12 to 1 on his money.
Right. I mean, Is Negreanu bluffing 7%, 8%?
He's bluffing Tuck under 1%.
Well,
Daniel-
Becker's not getting 100 to 1.
Yeah, and you know what? This is, by the way, this is what makes Becker great at draw. I think Becker's going to throw this hand away. I know he's getting a great price, but if anyone can get away with this, it's Johannes Becker.
Negreanu just went from 400,000 chips, for everybody, to 3.4 million.
That's what Daniel Negreanu
In 3
does.
hands.
Daniel Negreanu, it's hard to beat him, and when he runs good, he will get all the chips.
I mean, it's 3 hands. It's not. Is 3 hands running good?
Well, I mean, he made an 8 perfect. He made a wheel. Making a wheel in an 8 perfect back-to-back hands is running good.
Yeah, especially when the pots get big like this.
And it's multi-way action. Yeah,
Well,
let's
after
see.
he wins this hand, we'll lay out. He's going to get paid off,
I
too.
got 8-5.
Yeah, and Becker, you know, again,
What a heater. Let's go. Triple dipple.
I don't really fault.
Daniel's got chirping chips, and I expect him to chirp.
What's interesting here is again, I don't fault Johannes at all in that hand. In the moment, it's hard to get away from it. Daniel right now is literally on top of the world. This is like the dream spot deep in a poker tournament.
Becker, by the way, was up to 6.4 million after he doubled up and eliminated James Dope with Ace King versus Ace Jack. He has given up about half those chips. He is now down to 3.4 million. Still comfortable, but as we've seen, these pots are big. He can lose it at any point. Daniel now goes from 400,000 to 3.6 million.
Good work,
he is
Daniel.
just 9x his money in 3 hands.
Yeah, Daniel's playing great. He's making hands. It's a very dangerous combination playing against Daniel Negreanu when he makes such big hands like this. Let's see what Becker does here. He's going to open.
And I don't know what Becker has. Negreanu's not going to play this hand.
I don't think so.
No.
Now again, what you're going to start seeing from, and again, we talked about it earlier with Daniel, right? He never got the maximum in some of these hands. He checked behind. He didn't bet. But you know what? I probably would have been out of the tournament with his chips. He stayed and stayed and stayed and fought, and now he caught a heater, and he's the top 3 guy in chips right now in this tournament. Unbelievable.
I just ran to the bathroom. Whew, out of good shape. Okay, we got 8 left. Rearranging the table right now, feature table here. I went from 400K to the other 4, pretty much. What do I got now? Let's see. Let me count it. I would have just scooped the big one if I didn't do that. 2.7, like 3.4, 3.5. A little over average. 8 remaining.
Stayed in your seat?
Yeah, that's very lucky. Hey, and David Benjamin's joining us. So we're 8-handed. That's going to be different, you know. I thought it was 4 and 4, but 8 it is. Okay. So in the last level, we had 420. We got a new 4.2. I told you it was going to be my rush. Did I tell you? I had 420. 10 minutes later, I had 4 million. Now we got 4.2, so a new 420. We got 4.22 million. Wow. 8 left. Tight is right. I folded a hand right now. Everyone's like, oh, out the mid area. Old school limit hold'em. Jeremy Osmond's 8-handed raise under the gun +1. I'm on the button with ace jack offsuit.
Gotten to that yet? No,
Just fold. Like old school, you know? This guy's me over here. Wow. That guy. Gotta hide from him. Anyway, 4.2. We're going to dinner. Whatever's in that freezer going to taste good. I'll tell you that much. It's going to taste good, whatever it is. All right, 2.5, 1 million. Going to break. Another break. Still 8 of us left. Plenty of chips. We're going to be playing 300K big blind. I lost a big triple draw pot to Phil. He drew through 3. David drew 2. I'm in the big blind with deuce 3, 5, 7 to dealt. So I got 3 draws at it. And long story short, we put heaps of chips in there until finally, on the end, Phil makes an 8-6, and there's like 8 billion in there. So I made a 10-7. I know it's never good, but I mean, it's just too much money. You can't just fold there. In the wild chance that he's like, screw it, maybe I'll take the shot because it's a really good price to bluff at it. But, you know, made 8-6. So, all right, now we got about 8 big bets. Hey, what's up, dude? We got 8 big bets, plenty.
One issue with Razz is that, especially in a full ring, I do enjoy it shorthanded, heads up even. But my one issue with Razz is full ring. The bring in is like
dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to like
It's sad.
in stud or stud 8 or better,
Right.
the bring in can occasionally actually have a big hand. Stud 8 or better, sometimes the bring in's
Sure.
got a great hand.
That's true.
But in Razz, it's just dust.
No, it's
like you
just
said.
dust. Yeah, every now and then, you know, you get the bring in with an 8 or a 9, or you defend the ace deuce jack. But yeah, that's true. The bring in is a substantial penalty.
I mean, it's fun when it's, you know, when you're three-handed, heads up, you know, then you're, you know, the bring in can be an 8 or even a jack and you're still playing.
True. All right, we may have some fun this hand. Now,
Yeah.
Negreanu holding a 3-7 in the hole, despite facing the ace-deuce board of Brewer, he may feel fairly okay about his hand. He thinks Brewer is going to be opening a little bit light. He doesn't block those cards, and he feels like Brewer can have a lot of holdings here.
Now, Negreanu has made his 87. He can improve to a 75.
By contrast, Brewer blocks all of the cards on Negreanu's board, and he has to be very aware that Negreanu probably just has what he's representing.
And I believe Negreanu has just made the 75, right? No, he pairs the 3, pardon me.
Interesting decision for Negreanu here. Will he decide to bet with his very strong-looking board, or will he check? He does lead, and if Brewer can suss this out and find a thin value raise, that would be incredible. He has the 8-5 low with a better draw, but he just calls, playing defensively. A very reasonable course of action here. I expect to see Negreanu check the river as he did in the previous hand.
Brewer does not improve. Negreanu does not improve, and Brewer's going to win this
I
with an
think
85.
Brewer can find a thin value bet here if he thinks through the hand carefully. Would Negreanu be very likely to check a better hand?
And sure enough, Brewer does.
Negreanu has good blockers to call, having paired 5s on the end and 3s. He blocks all of the premium cards that Brewer needs to have a great hand, but this bet is saying I can beat your board. Tough spot for Daniel Negreanu.
Yeah, the huff and the puff from Daniel.
If
tells
he
you
had
everything.
not given it away immediately, he might have an interesting candidate for a check raise bluff, having blocked 2 5s and 2 3s. However, his immediate reaction to the bet pretty much, you know,
he's
ended
never
any
raising
choice
now.
of that, right? This is a nice value bet from Brewer here. This is not the sort of bet you would expect a no-limit player to necessarily make. This definitely shows that he has been thinking about this game and understands some limit poker concepts.
Yeah, Daniel trying to think. I mean, he's getting such a good price, getting 8 to 1, but trying to find a hand he can beat.
I think Negreanu kind of has to call with this hand. If he folds this, he's more or less saying, I don't think Brewer's capable of bluffing. And I just have a hard time believing that's the case. Imagine if Brewer had paired his 4 on 6th Street and makes something like a pair of 6s or pair of 7s on the river. He would have a hand that would be very tempting to bluff.
By the way, whether Negreanu calls this or not, Brewer will be up to what I think is over 7 million chips, which will be
Negreanu
the, oh
makes
wow,
an
Negreanu
excellent
finds
fold.
a fold. Saves that big bet.
Saves
That's amazing.
a whole bet there, yep.
And I believe with Brewer up over 7 million chips, that is the biggest stack we've ever seen anybody have.
Okay. Brewer would have been in hell if he got check raised there, by the way.
50-50 to for sure call. Maybe it saved me.
Daniel didn't really give that play much consideration.
Just a natural Razz player.
No, I always think the best limit players out there, they find the value bet to get the extra big bet, and then once in a while they make that crazy fold where they're getting 8 to 1, 9 to 1
Sure.
to save that big
I was
bet.
hoping you paired that.
It's a double-edged sword.
Only-
Sometimes the best players realize that their opponents are also capable of making those bluffs and just say, I have to pay off this spot.
Yeah, we always talk about it.
I
If
didn't
you
know.
lose 1 big bet, it's bad, but if you you lose 8 big bets, it's a catastrophe.
Correct.
I was 50-50 to make a 7. I would have paid that one.
Auspice has decided to limp in given his chip stack situation here, facing a bunch of low cards behind him. I would not have minded seeing Brewer over-limp this deuce 6-9. He has the chip lead, he can afford to play hands, and his hand does hold a decent amount of equity. Benjamin is tempted with 10-7-3. We can see that Benjamin really feels comfortable in Razz. He likes playing a lot of hands, he understands the anti-structure, and I think that he just feels like this is a game in which he can get away with playing these marginal hands.
Just thinking, hey, if I catch really good on 4th and 5th and my opponents don't, can I steal it? And,
he is,
well, he caught a
really
3.
nobody caught anything on
No.
the street. And who has incentive to bet? Well, Daniel has the best showing board with the Jack 8.
He's
and
going to bet.
going to go ahead and see what happens. I don't think he should. I don't think Osmus or Benjamin should necessarily fold, however. Osmus definitely should not fold, and Benjamin maybe should. He was really hoping to, as you said, catch a card better than his opponents, and he does get away.
Benjamin goes away, so it's Negreanu and Osmus.
And 5th Street will be very relevant to their holdings here.
Well, they both
As
catch a
both
5.
catch. Did either pair? No.
Neither one paired.
Daniel continuing to bet his board, and Osmus now with a relatively strong holding. Notice that he's the equity favorite because of on the strength of his 7 low draw, and he sees the 8-5 in front of him. He might even go for a raise. I guess with his chip stack, however, he would like to avoid variance, right? He doesn't necessarily want to push a small edge here when he can easily fall far behind on the next street.
Oh.
However, they both caught equal again. Neither has paired their ace. And I think at this point, Negreanu is going to have to start realizing, maybe I'm overplaying this hand just slightly. Will he check?
Yeah, Negreanu is made in 87. Osmus is made to 76.
Remember that Osmus limped in. That's going through Daniel's mind. What sort of a holding would Osmus limp? Would he really limp a great hand like deuce 3-4? Negreanu thinks it's probably fairly unlikely. If he bets, it's for that reason alone.
Well, if you don't think that he's limping in with a deuce 3-4, well then, is it more likely the 5 and the ace did not pair him then?
Somewhat yes, but that also means he could have a 9 in the hole. Negreanu has decided to check. If he were to have bet, Osmus has an easy raise showing the best hand. As played, Osmus is certainly going to get value for his 7, and Negreanu is probably going to have to continue here. He does have some outs to beat it. He has to improve again on the river.
Check.
Yeah, Negreanu's been in a couple of
checks
tough
in the
spots
dark,
here.
which I find slightly surprising.
Well, he could check raise. It's not going to that hand, and
Osmus
Osmus
makes
gets
it.
better.
And I think Osmus had a relatively easy value bet anyway, but this card makes it crystal clear that
Yeah,
he has
he's made
the
a
best hand.
65.
Yeah. Now, where would Osmus's bluffs come from here? If he had paired the ace and then caught a brick on the river or another pair on the river, that's where his potential bluffs would come from. Negreanu's 9 on the end is somewhat irrelevant. You might even argue it's a bad card. It was a card that he was somewhat hoping Osmus held.
How likely is it that Osmus is bluffing when he only had
Back-to-back.
685 left? Would he put half of his last
I mean,
685 in there?
sometimes the cards just say bluff.
Okay.
If he has an ace in the hole here and then he catches a second pair on the river, there's a decent chance it's going to work. I mean, he may be risking 300K out of 380 with 385 left, but if he wins this 2.2 million chip pot, it's a massive difference too.
Negreanu talking his way through this one again. He just folded correctly.
Yeah,
an 8.
and he's in the
Can he do it
very
again?
similar spot. Now, this hand is a little bit worse than the one before in many ways. His blockers are worse, and his actual holding is a little bit worse. His opponent would be easily able to value bet pretty much any better hand at this point. But he knows that Osmus is a capable player, and he does beat all bluffs.
Daniel in the blender on this one. It's just, he keeps making 8s, and he keeps making good second-best hands.
And when you have a second-best hand, you keep getting bet into on the river, you do start to get a little paranoid, you get a little frustrated.
These tough spots back-to-back. 8 million out there. Let's see. 8. Sorry, one more minute. Big decision here.
Notice that these big bets are so valuable at this stage of the tournament that even though it's only one more bet.
Wait a minute. So, if you paired the ace, then you know it wouldn't have paired me. So you wouldn't have bet. Right? Because if you had aces, you know that that didn't pair me.
Negreanu may be
don't
logicking
have
his way
Unless
to a
you're
fold.
frickin' card graphic thing situation. Again, so if you don't have an 8, you wouldn't call with a 5. You're not going to bet a worse hand. Wow.
A really
That would be sick.
interesting insight from Daniel here. That's a great point that he just made.
20 more seconds and I'm done.
If Jeremy had paired his ace, but Negreanu catches an ace, would he really choose to bluff into what's looking like a very scary board? That's what Negreanu's saying and thinking about now. It's going to lean him towards a fold, and he's going to make another great fold.
Wow.
He will be very, very happy with this play when he watches this final
8s
table
and
back.
folding.
And back-to-back, he folds 8s. And he saves 2 big bets. That's 600,000 chips. Or, by the way, at this point, You know, you're talking about a significant portion of what his chips are left.
Absolutely.
It's only got 1.5 million.
Very impressive thought process and play.
Just think if he hits the ace, let's go.
I mean, it might not be his day, but he's got to be proud of the way he's played so far.
Okay, we got end level again, 3.225 down to 6. Sad to see my buddy Ivey go. Obviously, love to battle with him. But the good news is, with Ivey gone, guess who gets to rate the stud games? Right? No, that's a big deal, honestly. Benjamin doesn't have a ton of chips right now. He's a fighter. But in terms of like the stud games, that's where my big edge is going to be with the remaining field. With Ivey there, it's, you know, like I said, he's GOAT. But with him not there, I feel like I can dominate, honestly. Just read cards. You know, it's a card reading game. You got to read the cards. I think I've been doing a really good job. If I made those 2 laydowns correctly with the 8s, then I'm really dialed in, you know? I feel like I made a lot of really good folds this tournament, just thinking them through, you know? Take your time. So, all right, let's keep on trucking. They said early day 4. This is a grind of a tournament. We're freaking past midnight, yo. 12:30 in the morning. Oh, easy early night. We're staying here again. No going home ever, looks like.
Bryce opens up a medium strength holding. With the main problem with this hand is the 4 different suits, but given that he feels he's in a comfortable chip position and he's comfortable in this game, he goes ahead and raises.
A little more comfortable opening that hand when it's 6-handed as opposed to, say, 8-handed.
Yes, that's a good point for sure. Negreanu calls the big blind with a high only hand with 4 diamonds. A hand that can smash the flop but also whiff pretty hard. He has hit the flop pretty hard.
He's hit the flop pretty hard, but Yaki's got 2 pair.
Bryce, oh, you're right. I didn't see the kings and 8s, and Bryce also having the ace-4 low draw, which is the only low draw available, is actually great shape here. Daniel needs a high card on the turn. Instead, he catches a deathly card.
Yeah, he's now got the open-ended straight flush draw.
Drawing almost dead, but has enough to continue. In fact, he feels his hand is so good he's leading, and Daniel could get himself in a world of hurt in this hand.
Yeah, Yaki with the full house.
With the number of draws present on this board, I definitely think Bryce should raise right away.
I mean, the only hand Yaki's losing to right now is pocket kings.
Right.
He also has the ace-4 as well.
No fear of that.
And he's going to raise right away.
And Daniel definitely, I think, is going to continue here. And if he catches another diamond on the river, could get himself in a world of hurt here.
Well, is there a world where he thinks, I mean, he knows he's not drawing dead. He can catch 6 of diamonds, catch the jack of diamonds. But is there a world where he thinks, you know what, I've got 4 diamonds.
Yes, but
I could be drawing dead here.
He could be drawing dead here, but he feels that even if he's against a hand like 3 8s, he has a lot of equity.
Oh my!
Did he make a straight flush?
He made a straight flush.
Oh my God!
Wow!
What an incredible hand.
Yeah.
Poor Bryce.
That is amazing.
This is another TV hand where Bryce loses a hand that's almost unlosable.
That is unreal.
Bryce?
And by the way, he gets scooped. He gets
Unbelievable.
scooped.
Bryce is just going to call, I think.
No, the raise.
I know, I'm saying he's not going to 3-bet. No, it actually went Bryce bet and Daniel check raised.
Okay.
I think I have a 7-card straight flush.
I was gonna say straight flush.
Almost. What is that? 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King.
It's a pretty nice hand right there.
Jesus. Wow.
Fucking drill a straight flush against my full house.
Bryce just cannot get away from these insane hands at the final tables.
That is absolutely crazy.
That's so fucking.
Did that really just happen?
Jesus.
I mean, it's fucking Christ.
It's that was a little lucky.
Blow 2?
Yeah, ace-4. 6 of diamonds, we still get half.
Right. Yeah.
How could you not think about his
Bryce.
triple draw hand? It only happens to Bryce.
You guys have like.
Yeah, the 6 of diamonds, by the way, he gets half. Just the jack of diamonds where he loses the entire thing.
That was incredible.
That was a huge pop, by the way. Negreanu now to
Yeah.
5.1.
Straight flush. Has that ever happened before?
All right, sitting here with this man who is hanging on by the chin of his chinny chin chin.
whole
He
day.
was so dead this
The whole
hand.
day.
Yeah, he was like, he knew he was ready to go play the PLO tomorrow because on the turn there's 3 spades. He knows I got a spades and the low, and he had a 3 to stay alive. And now you laddered. And how much you got for tomorrow?
850.
He's got 2.
More than I need.
850, plenty for you. I mean, you've played that stack all day.
All day
As for
850.
us, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh my.
let's do a count. Let's do a count because things are going well. That's 5.5. That's 6. That's 7. 7.4.
7.675. That's 7.675 in the bag. 5 left. Second in chips to brewer. 2 p.m. tomorrow. Staying here, of course. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's that. Another day in the books. The stud, I went, hold on. The stud round, I was playing every pot. And they just had kept turning their door card and everything, and I never had nothing. But we came back from that. I got so lucky with 7 card straight flush. 7 card straight flush. What the hell was that? I'll take it. All right. Good night, y'all. Peace.